When I got the call, they said he was still logged in. That was the first thing the officer told me. Not that he was gone, not that they found him, just that his laptop was open, screen still lit, chat still active, like he had stepped away for a second and never came back. But I already knew it wasn't going to be that simple. Because my friend Daniel didn't just step away from anything. Not from his phone, not from his laptop, not from the online world he had started living inside of. And definitely not from the people he talked to there. It started a year before he died. Daniel used to be normal, if that makes sense. We worked together at a small logistics company. Nothing exciting. He'd complain about traffic, drink too much coffee, laugh at stupid videos during lunch. Then he started spending more time online. At first it was harmless. Forums, gaming servers, late-night scrolling, we all do that. But with Daniel, it didn't taper off, it grew teeth. He stopped coming out after work, stopped answering calls quickly. He'd sit at his desk even after his shift ended, eyes locked on his screen like he was waiting for something specific to happen. I asked him once what he was doing all the time. He didn't even look away from the monitor. Talking, he said. That's it? A pause. Yeah, just talking to people who actually get it. That should have been my first warning. About 3 months before he died, he told me about someone he met online, a user named NullPoint. He said they were different, smart, calm, always online at the exact times Daniel was. They talked about things he never discussed with anyone else, his routines, his job, even his habits when he thought no one was watching. I remember laughing a little. Bro, that's just a guy in a chat room, I said. Half of it is probably made up. Daniel didn't laugh back. That's what's weird, he said quietly. He knows things I didn't type. I told him to log off for a bit, take a break. He didn't. Instead, he started staying up later, and NullPoint started getting more specific. At first, it was small things. Daniel would mention being hungry, and the account would reply, "You usually skip breakfast anyway." Then it got worse. One night, Daniel messaged me at 2:13 a.m., "I think someone is watching my screen." I asked him what he meant. He said the replies were too fast, too accurate, like they weren't coming from another person at all, like they were coming from inside his machine. I told him to unplug everything and sleep. He replied, "I can't. If I log off, he gets mad." That was the last normal conversation we ever had. After that, things escalated fast. Daniel stopped showing up to work on time, then stopped showing up entirely. Management said he was on leave, but I knew he wasn't. I went to his apartment once. He didn't open the door, but I could hear typing inside, constant, fast, like someone racing against time. I called him. He picked up on the third ring. "You shouldn't be here," he said immediately. "I'm outside your door." A long silence. Then, "He knows." "Who knows?" Daniel's voice dropped lower. "NullPoint isn't just a person anymore." And then he hung up. 2 days later, I got another message from him. This time, it wasn't a call or a text. It was a screenshot, his own desktop. But I recognized things that shouldn't have been visible. A file I knew he never shared. A folder labeled Private Notes. Even his browser history was open. At the bottom of the image, a message was typed in chat. He looked outside the door. I called the police after that, but by the time they went to check on him, Daniel was gone. No sign of forced entry, no struggle, just a chair pulled back from his desk and his computer still running like he'd only just stood up. Except he never came back. That's what the officer meant when he said Daniel was still logged in. The chat window was still active, still typing, even after his phone stopped pinging, even after his location went dark. I went to the apartment with them the next morning. It felt wrong immediately, not scary in a dramatic way, just off, like the room had been used too long without air. The monitor was still on, and the chat was still open. NullPoint was still there, typing. The officer asked me if Daniel had enemies online. I laughed without meaning to. He didn't have enemies, I said. He barely left the house, but even as I said it, I knew that wasn't true anymore, because whatever this was, it had followed him outside the screen. The investigation took weeks. At first, they thought it was harassment, some kind of cyberstalking case, maybe someone messing with him psychologically. But then they checked the logs, and things stopped making sense. Every message from NullPoint came from different IP addresses, different countries, different devices. But there was a pattern. They all routed back through the same local network, right here in the city, right near Daniel's apartment. Then the investigators found something worse. Daniel's own machine had been sending data out. Screenshots, keystrokes, audio snippets from his microphone. Someone had installed something on his system months ago. A small program hidden inside a game mod he downloaded. He never mentioned downloading mods, but apparently he had. A private server, a custom build, something he thought was harmless. It wasn't. It was a backdoor, a way in. But even that wasn't the worst part, because the messages from NullPoint weren't just automated. They adapted. They referenced things happening in real time. Things happening outside his apartment. Like when Daniel went to the window. Like when he stood up. Like when he hesitated before making calls. Someone wasn't just watching him. They were learning him. The break in the case came from a neighbor. A woman 2 floors down said she sometimes saw someone entering Daniel's unit when he wasn't home. Except it wasn't forced entry. They had a key. That's when we learned about Marcus. He worked in the same building as us. IT support. Quiet guy, kept to himself. The kind of person you don't notice until you're forced to. Turns out he had helped Daniel once with a system optimization tool at work. Something simple, or so Daniel thought. That tool carried the malware. Marcus had been the one routing everything. He wasn't in another country, he was 10 minutes away, and he had been watching Daniel's screen longer than anyone realized. But there was still one missing piece. Why Daniel? When they brought Marcus in, he didn't deny much. He just looked tired, like he had been staying up just as long as Daniel had. He wasn't special, Marcus said finally. He was just the first one who never logged off. That sentence stuck with me. The first one, not the only one. The investigation widened after that. They found other systems, other users, other targets, though the police never officially called them that. People who had been nudged, observed, manipulated through their devices. Not all of them went missing. Some just changed, isolated, quiet, like Daniel. But Daniel was the one who noticed. And once he noticed, Marcus escalated. He started feeding Daniel false messages, fake confirmations, making him doubt what was real and what wasn't, until Daniel stopped distinguishing between his screen and his life. The final night was reconstructed from logs. Daniel had been sitting at his desk for 6 hours straight, no breaks, no movement, just typing. The last recorded message from him was simple: "I'm not logging off." The response came seconds later, from NullPoint: "You already did." After that, everything stopped. No more outgoing data, no more input, just silence. And then, the power to his unit went out at 3:17 a.m. Neighbors reported nothing unusual after that. No sound, no disturbance, just a quiet building. When they found him the next day, there were no signs of violence. That's what confused everyone at first, until they realized something else. Daniel hadn't been killed in the traditional sense. He had been isolated. His system had been used to control everything he saw, heard, and believed. Even the final moments. Marcus didn't need to break in. He just needed Daniel to stay online long enough to remove every exit he thought he had. In the end, the official report called it a targeted cyber-enabled homicide. A phrase that sounded clean on paper. Too clean, because it didn't explain the part that still keeps me up. The chat logs. Even after Daniel died, even after the device was shut down, there was one final message sent from NullPoint, not to Daniel, but to the system itself. A new user was active, a new screen, a new connection, and it said, "Who's next?"